The Chiefs bring back a veteran defensive tackle. Some returning players feel like this year is promising, and we discuss the potential White House visit for the Chiefs that they are making up from 2020. All of this next on Gridiron Gambit.
Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Let's work. Hey.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gridiron Gambit. I am one of your co-hosts for this evening, Daily Dale Fowler, along with my other partners, my other buddies, Clinton and Lonnie. How y'all doing tonight, man?
Doing good. Excited to talk some Chiefs football. Get into some offseason talk.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep, I'm ready. I'm ready to get into it. We got a lot of storylines to get into, and I know you are very eager to get to discuss these. So excited.
Yeah, we definitely got a lot to talk about on this evening's episode of Gridiron Gambit. Of course, definitely got a lot to discuss. Of course, we got another re-signing from a veteran player on the defensive line, and then also we got some returning players definitely excited about this upcoming season, and they feel that it's promising. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, starting with our first topic, M-V-Pennel. Excuse us. Some technical difficulties, of course. So M-V-Pennel. All right. So let's go back. All right. So the Kansas City Chiefs have re-signed Mike Pennel to a one-year contract. Last season, he started 8 games for the Chiefs and spent a significant amount of time on the practice squad. So, what implications, does this signing have for the Chiefs, and should they consider adding another player through free agency before the draft? So open up the floor.
Go ahead,
Go
Lonnie.
ahead and take that first.
Yeah. So as far as implications, I don't think it has too much of any implications for the Chiefs. But I do think they still add bodies with it through the draft. Mike Pennel, as we all know, is an older player. So I do see them going out into the draft and adding players to kind of throw bodies at that position. They also signed guys to the like of Jared of Tillery and Charles Omenihu. So the position is kind of stacked, but you did lose bodies like Turk Wharton and Derek Nottie. So you definitely see the need for Mike Pennel there, which is why they went ahead and made the signing. But we all know that Mike Pennel was a guy that was retired once upon a time, came out of retirement, came back to the Chiefs. It's really just been like a godsend ever since, kind of revamped his entire career. So it's really hats off to Mike Pennel to continue his career. This guy is definitely older, up there in age. So I think this was more of just to kind of supplement the loss of Derek Nottie and Turk Wharton and kind of not lose that run stuffing body and get an extra guy in there to kind of just in case Tillery and Omenihu are not per se run down guys or guys that you can stack in there and put in there on rundowns. You have a guy that you know you can put in there on the run stuff, stop the run, and has the ability to get after it. This is a guy that been Trent Williams straight backwards in the Super Bowl against the 49ers. So not to discount Mike Pennel. It's a reason that he's getting another go around with the Chiefs. I really think it's just more hats off to him as a career. It speaks to his work ethic as a professional athlete. But I don't want to say this is just, oh my God, this means that the Chiefs are stacked in defensive line and they're not going to do anything. No, I still see them throwing a ton of bodies at the defensive line position, and even probably someone like Mike Pennel may be getting not hopefully, but maybe getting cut because they got some younger and better guys at that position. They don't have to keep somebody of that age. So I'm hoping that they go and get bodies and younger people at the position. They don't think that they don't need anything to do. They don't have anything to do. But definitely love the signing just for that.
I would agree with that. I think for me, Mike Pennel is kind of a break glass, like in case of an emergency type player for this defense. And it's clear that Spagnuolo likes him enough to keep him around. And he flashed in a Super Bowl. So that's enough to have like enough to street cred, I guess, for the Chiefs as far as they're concerned. But you said it when we opened the topic. Only started 8 games majority of the time on the practice squad. So, for me, I think he's only going to be used when certain games necessitate his strengths. Very run-heavy offenses or play actions like the Shanahan offenses, where just to have that interior pressure that can stunt and then harass the left tackle on the biggest stage of them all. So maybe just hoping that something like that can happen again. But I agree. I don't think that another free agent type pickup is coming on the defensive line again. I think we've spent enough of the spending cash that Clark Hunt would allow Brett Veach to use during these last couple weeks, and I think the rest of the cap is going to be used for draft picks. But I would not be surprised if defensive line is one of the first 3 picks the Chiefs select in this draft. I think the other free agent additions the Chiefs made with Jalen Moore and Christian Fulton kind of alleviate those other needs as like glaring ones that would kind of force you to take a player at that position just because you felt like that was the one position you needed to like feel complete. The Clyde Edwards-Helaire pick is kind of the culmination of that philosophy. We only need a running back, so we'll take Clyde and he'll just complete this. But if the right player isn't work, then that pick sets you back for several years because you neglected those other choices. And I think Brett Veach really appreciates offensive and defensive linemen and knows that teams are truly built there first and foremost. So I think we're definitely going to see another defensive tackle or maybe 2 as like an undrafted free agent come in here. And I wouldn't be surprised if one or both of those players would kind of beat Mike Pennel for a spot, but not necessarily means that they're above him, just kind of like how the Chiefs have been utilizing their practice squad and how the NFL has kind of adjusted their practice squad as of late. It's not just a place to stash players you think are going to be, somewhat good players 2 years from now. You can put veteran players that you're like in a pinch need them, or certain games and schemes, you're really good here, or even just playing scout teams, quarterbacks, stuff like that, where experience is kind of welcome in the practice squad now. And I think like Mike Pennel is kind of valuable in that way. So when I say that like, oh, he's practice squad and only use certain much, that's not like hating on him or saying his skills aren't up there. It's clear that he is. But just the way that the NFL has kind of changed their practice squads, you can use veterans down there and kind of stash them away. And I think Mike Pennel, he's been around, so it's not like he needs the most paid money. Wasn't a lot of competition, so you've already found the place you want to be. So it's a pretty good gig. Might as well take another year at it and hopefully get to flash on the biggest stage and hoist the Lombardi this time.
Yeah, hopefully that can happen. I mean, he's been around those championships runs, so it's not like he's not familiar with it at all. But this signing, and I took offense, Glenn, when you kind of said the MV practice squad in the chat. I was like, don't play with my guy Mike Pennel like that. He has some important snaps and has some important roles within the defense. Now, I will say that with the youth that we had and with that defensive line and the potential that we saw with it, we was like, we're gonna pull you up when we need it. But you see those 8 games, at some time that experience is going to be needed. And we know when he comes in, this is not going to be a drop off. This is not going to be a guy who comes in. It's like, oh, we're just going to go ahead and attack him. We're going to go ahead and expose him. We're going to run his way every time. Oh, you better not. Because like Lonnie said, he didn't lifted up Trent Williams. He didn't whip with the best of them. And he didn't clog those holes. And like we said, he's a run stopper. Now, he can get that back there, get his hands on the quarterback, of course, get dirty. But at the end of the day, his job is let CJ go to work in the inside or let him pick going on the edge as well, too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it down right here. As long as I stalemate or I get that guy to be pushed back, then at that time, I won my job. Because what I was always told coming up, and I know I like to go to this every time, if you're stalemating with a defender, you lost as the offensive lineman. So if he's just doing his part of not going anywhere and you're just keeping it right there, the line of scrimmage, that's no gain for the running back if they hit that hole. And Mike Pennel provides that. So it can happen. Hopefully we go in. I do think we go into the draft. We go into the draft. We find some youth. If the guys fall to us, they're going to get that action early on, and they're of course going to make that 53-man roster. And then the rotation with Jeff Tillery, that rookie, and then also Pennel as well too is needed. And then we still go back to you got your guys like Charles Amini who works from the inside as well. And I know we're worried about other edge rushers, but I said it once again, and I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna say it again. Felix been going up. It's not like he has been getting worse. I promise you, this is not a breathe and speak situation with him. I'm seeing the potential. I'm truthfully seeing the potential. Now, do I feel like he's going to be an elite player that we're going to depend on and give a 5-year contract and give him up to close to $30 million a year? No. But he's going to be on that 53-man roster. He's going to have reps to where he can come in and fill in. So Mike Pennel, I think this just made sense. Let's fill in these holes right now. Like y'all said, Nadi left. He went to New York. I think a lot of people was ready for that project to be over anyway. Not project, but we didn't see him. He was nearing 30 years old. He been in the league for a while. He been a part of every Super Bowl that we had as well too. So he got 3. What does he have to play for? He's not playing to be the best ever. Like he's just he's just getting the bag, just getting his money as time go. This was a smart move. Pennel, he don't have a place to go. He's not really worried about going somewhere else. He's not worried about being a starter with another team. I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to keep on competing for championships. I'm going to enjoy this ride with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce as long as I can until I go. So I think great job for the Kansas City Chiefs. I can understand those who feel like, man, well, you see what we did last year. Remember, last year we went 15-2. Y'all worried about the Super Bowl. Y'all looking at that loss. We dealt with injuries. A lot of stuff been caught up with us. Left tackle has been in poor position. Let's not go out like everybody just been horrible. They haven't been horrible. We went 15-2. So some of the guys that we bringing back that we feel like is going to be needed and that's going to be in their place, that's smart. Let's do it. Because we're still surrounding with other talent. We're still bringing in at least new faces in areas that we feel we need new faces in. Left tackle, cornerback, and then we still don't know with safety. They talking about a blockbuster trade can come soon with the Ravens again. I wonder what they talking about with that. I was like, y'all trying to say Cal Hamilton? I would like that. If that, that's not happening. But what are y'all trying to do before the draft? But who knows? But at the end of the day, shout out to Mike Pennel. Always a wonderful cat to have back on your roster. OG, of course, that's gonna uplift those that we bring into the defense as well too, via the draft and helping, of course, Chris Jones build those guys up and be a force to be reckoned with this upcoming season. So, anything else y'all like to add before we go ahead and move on?
Go ahead, Lonnie.
Yeah, I was going to say, like you said, 15-2. We didn't do too bad, and a lot of guys were hurt. Like you didn't have the best wide receiver at that time with Rashee Rice down. You didn't have him literally to the end of the year. So I think a lot of people are probably pressing the panic button by seeing the Chiefs re-sign a lot of familiar faces, and they don't like that. But the team was good, and it was a shell of itself last year. So if you can get a couple pieces to step up in a couple of different places, I think you're talking about probably an undefeated season. So and something a little bit different, but ifs and buts are candy and nuts.
Right.
And with Mike Pennel being, predominantly run stopper extraordinaire, this may just be an off-season talk because, there's nothing else going on, or it may, be fortune telling. I don't know. But like we've talked how the NFL is kind of readjusting back a little older now, and running the football is kind of like working again when the NFL used to just be passing through and through. I think Andy Reid, will always kind of be inherently passing, and so a lot of other coaches. But if in fact the NFL is truly changing into, run first almost, then Mike Pennel may be, more important and prominent on this team than he has been in recent seasons. So, I'm just throwing that out there. If the NFL is truly becoming as run first as it's been theorized to be in the ways to, like, how to beat modern defenses now, then we may see Mike Pennel more, and he can remove that practice squad designation on him. But
Right.
I know the Chiefs are taking full advantage of that. And like you said, if he was making several millions of dollars, he wouldn't be on this team. We wouldn't be talking about him. But he's a loyal guy, and we enjoy watching him, and he's competitive. And when he does get on the field, he flashes. So what's not to like about him?
And could and before we move on, could be comparable to Kareem Hunt. Let's go ahead and sign him now, make him go through a full offseason with us, make sure he's in shape, before preseason start and after it goes, and you'll be ready to go week 1. We need that body on that defensive line ready to rumble. But before we go on to our next topic, I want you all, please, could you subscribe to our YouTube channel? Also, follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. If you listen to us on Spotify as well, please give us 5 stars. That way, of course, you just moves up. You're moving up the playlist every time something comes out. Hey, you're going to be like, what, Red Kingdom Media got something going on, to go ahead and join in. Also, if you like to, of course, read and look at written versions of the content that we, of course, talk about and produce, make sure you subscribe to our Substack as well too. That's, of course, growing, continues to grow. We put our daily articles out. Like, we're going to be having some mock drafts. Braxton has his team builder going on. Cleveland's going to be doing a couple mock drafts as well too. Probably so. We'll see. But I think that's going to be in the works as well. Also, any breaking news signings, I'm on top of that. Of course, give you the update about what's going on with that. So if you love to, of course, read, go ahead and subscribe to our Substack. And if you're looking for any merch, I got the shirt on right now. Go ahead and hit up these 3 fellas right here, myself included. Hit us up so you can go ahead and, of course, you see Clinton doing it, go ahead so we can get you a shirt out there. And once we see these shirts going, we're going to get other merch like hoodies, hats. You can put it on your cup as well too, however you want to represent. So if you want to, of course, support the channel and continue to watch us grow, because we almost to 500 subscribers. We almost there. So continue to tap in and show us love. We got y'all as well too. And of course, we'll have a special giveaway when we go ahead and get to that moment. But let's go ahead and jump into our next topic. We're going to be talking about, oh my God, reclaiming the kingdom. We got to reclaim the kingdom, y'all. How will we reclaim the kingdom? I don't know how, but we're going to have to reclaim the kingdom. So Kareem Hunt expressed optimism about the Chiefs' potential to compete for the Super Bowl once again, while Hollywood Brown emphasized that he and the Chiefs have unfinished business. What strategies and steps will the Chiefs need to undertake in order to pursue this goal?
Well, I think the strategy is pretty easy. It's only one strategy. It's really only one really big course of action, and it's stay healthy. What they couldn't do last year. We just spoke about it in the previous topic at the end of it. The Chiefs couldn't get out of their own way with injuries last year. The Chiefs have to find a way to get Hollywood Brown to the regular season, and at least through the regular season. And the same thing with Rashee Rice. If that means you got to bubble wrap some guys through the preseason, and that means that's just what we're going to have to do. I know Andy Reid is not accustomed to doing things like that, but Hollywood Brown looks like he may be one of those guys. You really might only be able to get one catch towards the sideline, nothing over the middle where you're getting tackled and get out of the game, which is fine. We've had guys like that before, fragile guys, Jody Fortson. We know people that just haven't been able to really hold up in the game. So you got to kind of get them, usher them along to the regular season. So I think that's the biggest thing is staying healthy. And then I think the second one is having the answers to the questions on the edge. We know that left tackle, and even right tackle have kind of been a revolving door ever since Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz left. We signed Jawan Taylor. He had not so much of a good season when he first got with the Chiefs, but won Super Bowls and kind of overcame adversity and made it and was better at the right tackle position. And then we just recently had a revolving door with who did we just have over there just last year? Joe Tooney and then DJ Humphrey. So and it's really just been a revolving door ever since Eric Fisher left, and now we went and got more from the San Francisco 49ers. So I really want to see if the Chiefs can protect the edge really on the left-hand side, but both on the left-hand and right-hand side. I think that is going to be the key to the Chiefs winning anything. The remainder of the offensive line stayed the same for the most part, except for Joe Tooney heading out, but they'll have somebody in there that they're familiar with, either Kingsley Suamataia or somebody that'll come in fresh from the draft. So I think that those are the two things that the Chiefs have to do. They'll have to stay healthy, and they'll have to have the answers to the test on the edge when it comes to pass rushers, and guys kind of dialing it up and trying to pin their ears back, because we know when it's time to get after Mahomes and when it's time for us to go on those game-winning drives, that's what guys are going to want to do. They're going to want to rush sound, and kind of have guys, those guys, crazy guys on the edge that can get around the edge and cause havoc. So I'm really interested interested to see how the Chiefs answers both of those questions as far as staying healthy and have the questions on as far as the offensive line goes on the edge.
I think for me, most of the things that need to be done for this team are all pointing to the offense. Sure. There's a question for the defense, who's going to step up to be, a truly elite defensive player next to Chris Jones. George Karlaftis is approaching that, but hope for a little bit more of a jump in production. There's Felix, who's got potential, but hasn't had the playing time yet. Charles Omenihu just brought in, hoping to get as much production that he got 2 years ago. Since last year's season was kind of ripped away from previous year for injury. And then, of course, the biggest concern at this point is, do the Chiefs have so much faith in Jaden Hicks to be that dominant safety, or are we waiting for a big trade or after the draft free agent signing, like maybe a Justin Simmons or something? Those are the only, kind of sort of things on defense. You just expect Spagnuolo and Merritt and the other defensive coaches to kind of just figure stuff out as they go and be as dominant as they have been, both on paper and on film. So most of the attention has to go to the offense, and I think for me it goes back to over the last couple years. It is an argument now that the Chiefs offense is not the identity of the Chiefs. Yes, they're still on commercials and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, blah, blah, blah. But in terms of how the Chiefs are getting W's in the games they're playing, a lot of it at this point, the last couple of years, has flashed their defense, has kind of eclipsed them in performance, in the stable play. They've been consistent. They've been able to handle injuries. Here you've had 3 different injuries at cornerback and been able to scrounge through and get 15 wins all year. So you just expect the defense will figure it out. But it's the offense now that seems to need to have everything in place for them to officially have it. If the offensive line is not up to standards, and especially the left tackle is a big red flag, then we know the catastrophe that the Chiefs can experience. And it comes at the worst time, of course. But in terms of the way that they've been playing, they need to just start playing old school 2018, 2019, start saying, we got to start putting 40, 50 points up. We got to come out, pissed off. We just lost the Super Bowl again and got embarrassed. And at this point, there's even some in our fan base that are thinking there's no way we can make a run again, because it's time for another down year and have stuff to figure things out, and new left tackles. So that's going to be a learning curve and all that. And I feel like the main core of this Chiefs offense has to come with this brand new focused and intense mindset. This is Travis Kelce's last year. So at this point, this should be the sole focus. The intensity needs to be each and every week. Every game is your last game, and you need to have that impression all the way through to the end of the season. So it's time for, once we get Rashee Rice back in the fold, Xavier Worthy has proven himself as an NFL receiver and will only get bigger and with time in the weight room and training and more reps with Mahomes. He's going to be even more determined now with all the things that he's been through the last couple weeks. Like I said, Travis Kelce with his redemption tour, everyone's saying that he's slowed down. He's gotten slow, and he can't do it anymore. He's still going to be determined. I'm going to show you, even in my final year, I can put up some of the best numbers the tight end's ever done in the NFL and start going right down the line. Hollywood Brown needs to make an impact after last season's freak injury cost him. So he was ready to have a Hollywood performance for the Chiefs and prove it in the prove it year. And the Chiefs had to rewind that and make a sequel a year later and do that same thing. But they're hoping that this sequel will obviously be better than the original. And Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, Elijah Mitchell, potential fourth running back in the draft, Carson Steele at fullback, I don't know. But they also need to start making an impact. If I've said that, this offense needs to start throwing the ball down people's throats, throwing it down the field, then that means during those crunch times when it's time to clinch the game away, that Kareem Hunt can carry the ball 7 yards and inch for 3 more for the first down, or Isaiah Pacheco can shake 3 guys off of him and inch for the first down, or somebody else takes the 4th and 1 QB snap or whatever. But it's time to start playing with some intensity and some physicality. It's clear that it's worked for the Philadelphia Eagles and having that mindset. And I know that Andy Reid tries to proclaim that his teams are like that and tries to, but I don't think the results necessarily show themselves. And so, now it's time to kind of lean into that identity and figure out that, what we've been doing isn't exactly perfect. So let's make some adjustments and be, I guess, humble about it. We just got the taste slapped out of our mouths, and we don't like that, and it sucks. So now it's time to, how do we rebuild from this in a positive way and use that determination to get us to hopefully win the Super Bowl next year and not have that hangover.
I think both of you made some great points, and I think you touched on a lot of, of course, I think we want to see more from the offensive side of the ball, right? The defense have, of course, been carrying the team for the last couple years. However, I will say, for Mahomes and the offense sake, at certain times, it really happened in 2023. Really, 2023 and 2024, they did it. 2022, we were still the number 1 offense, the best offense in the league. Had what they totaled 6,000 yards total that whole year. That was only 2 or 3 years ago. So it's not like it was far away. It's just how bad it kind of dropped. 2023, it was drops. Literally, it was what I just said, drops. But they figured it out in the postseason. And then this past year, of course, I know how that went. We went 15-2, but it seems like we couldn't find that rhythm offensively. I think we got to put into, of course, consideration that people have been playing Patrick Mahomes a lot differently. Truthfully, this is a Steph Curry effect. He came into the league on fire. You couldn't figure it out for 3 to 4 years. And then they start saying, like, okay, we're going to push you out farther. We're going to have people meet you a little bit sooner. We're going to have a body on you all the time. However, he's still making it work, right? Mahomes has had to maneuver, because it's kind of the first year where it's like, y'all got me at the right time, because I still overcame. I still had certain performances where it's like, oh, yeah, he's still the baddest man in the world. Strategies this season, though, staying healthy. Hollywood, sorry, bro. You might not see preseason this year. Depending. No, like, you going to go that first drive, but we might not target you quick it might be a deep ball just to see if it's there, just to get you running. Of course, getting a little happy, a little bit of that, but not too much, because once we see, that connection that you have with Patrick Mahomes, that's all we need to know, because we saw it when you came back, and we saw those moments in the Steelers game, and then the game after that as well too, the Texas game as well. We saw those moments, so we know what you're capable of, but we're not going to go through that. Charles, you got to stay healthy. Really, you had your suspension season, and then you got injured going towards the Super Bowl, and then you missed a half of the season. So we see injuries is the issue right here. Everyone just needs to be healthy. Defensively, we got to get back to the secondary. We can't be giving up as much, right? I like the point that y'all put out there. Justin Simmons, that might be. We always have that, signing after the draft where it's like, okay, it makes sense for the team. Like, we see what we can do, see what we are able to grab in the draft. Okay, this makes sense, because Jaden Hicks, this is not saying that you're not going to get clock at all. We need a vet there that can going to help you build you up, and Justin Simmons is old. So he's just looking for one more ride to hopefully try to go for a Super Bowl before his career is over, because he wasn't able to experience that at all. So I like that move, but just really got to come into this season, forget all the noise. The pressure is off of you now. It's away. Do what you did in prior years. Mahomes and Kelsey, that connection needs to come back. I know that we're saying that this league seems like it's going more towards a running league. Nah, Clinton, it's still staying passing. Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey, they broke the code already. They just weren't healthy. But Saquon, you saw him in a healthy year with the team that has a quarterback, a defense, and an offense around him that can play. He can be a difference maker, and he will help you get you there. It's still a passing league. Don't forget, Jalen Hurts had to throw a couple bombs in that Super Bowl to show out. It wasn't Saquon Barkley running all over him. They was throwing the ball. We said, no, you're not going to run. You're going to throw. That's what they had to do. So I like, really, do what you did before. Y'all got the coaching staff. You got the experience with the players. You got the veterans. You have the quarter. You have everything you need. This was one of the years where they got it from us. They took it from us. That's it. But we can come back even stronger. They kept on saying the Chiefs gonna lose the AFC West. They're gonna give it up. When have we lost the AFC West, even with Alex Smith? We started 0-5 one year, y'all. 1-5. We started one. Y'all hear me? Like, is it there? We started 1-5 with Alex Smith. We went 10-0 and won a division. You think I'm going to put that on Patrick Mahomes that he's just going to go ahead and lose the division this year? He better get injured. It got to be an injury. I'm sorry. It got to be injury in somewhere there for that to even happen. So just going on that rant right there. It is what it is. Y'all not animated enough for me. Y'all not hear me. Y'all not hear me. Y'all not animated enough. Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
What?
No injury.
What? I'm gonna be honest. Like I told you, but I did told you, like, y'all been hearing me saying this years before, because Clinton, you run that up. You said, everybody been waiting for that down year. I kept on extending it, just seeing like the history that could be made. I got the back to back like I wanted to. I did want that 3-peat because it's like eventually, bro, like it even got Tom Brady. I don't think it's gonna get Pat because he is a different breed, but I'm just expecting a down year at some point. And it's just 1 year. Just one year.
Josh Allen. Go get Josh Allen in. Go get Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. Thank you. Leave Patrick Mahomes alone. Appreciate it.
I think we're almost doomed for the down year this year,
Josh.
Because it happened to us last time we got blown out in the Super Bowl. And think about it. Can you think of the last time that a team lost in the Super Bowl and then was able to bounce back and come back the following year? There's been a Super Bowl slump. It happened to the Chiefs also. So
yeah, it's not a real one. The everybody Super Bowl slump is like literally different. Like we literally Super Bowl knocked out AFC Championship game, Super Bowl win. Like that's where I gotta say, like, we gotta stop even being emotional and sad about that. We haven't had no real slump. Everybody else, like, they fall off the cliff and don't even make it to the playoffs. Might get to the wild card round but lose. It even happened to Tom Brady. But Pat, it's like you really got hope. It's like,
but our expectations have changed. I mean, we win Super Bowls now, so there are some young kids that are really upset that the Chiefs were blown out in the Super Bowl because they're like, I didn't know that was physically possible. That the Chiefs
that's why we got to be the adults in the room. We got to tell them, like, you spoiled, young man. You're spoiled.
Doesn't mean we don't want the same thing that they do.
We want the same.
Exactly. But I was gonna say that the Chiefs have set their own standard. I love that y'all made that. I love y'all made that analogy, but that has become our reality here in Kansas City for the past couple years. And you say that being funny, but that is a lot of Chiefs kingdom, just period, point blank. But that's just not how it is. That is not reality. A lot of teams are more like the Lions. Have great teams, win a whole bunch, go to the playoffs, and just never make it. So we have been living in a fantasy world. Even the Patriots, all the years they won with Tom Brady, that's not reality.
What's the year we missed it with Alex Smith? Gotta be grateful. We went 9-7 one year with Alex Smith, right? And that's when we missed it. 2014. So that's when we missed it. So he got there 2013. They made it that year, but they missed it the next year. Bro, we literally haven't missed the playoffs since 2015. We're really entering like Patriot territory when it comes to how consistent you be in the playoffs. The expectation, to be honest, we're not even looking at the early 2000s no more, bro. Like, that's why people don't understand. And that's why I feel where you come from, Clinton, when you say that, because I had to bring it back to let people know, like, hey, we old enough now. We not the ones who we were experiencing it then, and then it was like the 80s and 70s and 60s when the last time, like, we didn't seen it now. We got out of that stage. So we got to be the ones that reel people back in, let them know, like, nah, it was worse. Y'all experienced it. Stop playing. This is a blessing. It was a time we was complaining about not getting past the divisional round. When you think about that, that's crazy. We was complaining about that then when you got the teams like the Bengals not even getting the Super Bowl.
There was a 20-year stretch where the Chiefs did not win a playoff game. They didn't
That's
win
crazy.
Until 2015, technically, like probably even January of 2016. So, yeah, it was 10 years ago when the Chiefs finally won their first playoff game in over several decades. And now we're like, gee whiz, we've lost 3 playoff games. This is horrible. I can't stop.
And it's already, and technically, it's already been 7 years since we made it to our first AFC Championship game after a while. Time is going by fast. Oh my God, bro! Like, can we just enjoy it, bro? Like, let's just enjoy it.
It's a microcosm. It's a microcosm of the world, though, right? You lose, and then once you get money, you don't know what it's like to never have. It's like you never had money. Like, you always had money your whole life, huh? Yeah, you must never be like, like, right. No, it has not always been roses here. If those memories were a lot closer, I think people would relish in this moment a lot more. They're not, though. Those memories are so far and few between that we take stuff like this for granted, bro. And we don't realize, like, we were just living in straight misery for like 10 years, and couldn't get out of our own way, and then got saved. But you start talking, you talk to somebody now, you think that we've been winning like this 14 years, and it's not. That's
why they think we all That's why they all think we bandwagon. They think like it just came out of nowhere. I'm gonna put the you go ahead because I got an analogy.
Okay, and I think it directly relates to our next topic too. I think because of what happened with the world and the fact that the Chiefs did something they'd never done in 50 years, and then like everything shut down, and then that next year we're trying to make another Super Bowl when none of us can go to the games, and we're all wondering what life is like. It just feels like we were trying to establish this like time period, but like it was a very quick Patrick Mahomes beginning, and then we just had to have this pause during it, and then it was like the shock of Super Bowl 55, and then it's like, okay, now we're like, I guess officially started this time period, because like that Mahomes period just gets chopped off with the
facts. 2022 is really the start of the dynasty. Like for real. That's when we got to enjoy it. For real. Parade and all. Y'all had the parade though. The parade was before everything shut down, so it was cool. But that's facts, bro. Because literally, you come back 2021 Super Bowl 55. I think they didn't even do 100% capacity at the Super Bowl. Nor at the games for the Chiefs game. I think it was at least 50%. Like we didn't do 0% like some stadiums, but it's like we had something.
I think it was like maybe 10 or 20%.
Yeah,
I know it was very slim picking.
Yeah,
it was just
so
the whole thing was just weird.
So, but I was going to even say, like, before we move on to the next topic, because that's going to be just a fun one for us to even have fun with. But Lil Baby son, everybody gonna get it, especially in the hip hop community. Y'all just heard him like say, like, bro, like I didn't even have money on my life. That was like when I was 1 and 2. That's what some of the kids was saying kind of in 2017, 2018. Like, to be honest, like, you don't really know, like, you was a baby then. You don't even know the struggle for real. You just heard what we was talking about. Like, the youngest even at that time then, like, where you probably just start liking football. Y'all don't even know that. Y'all really got on once we won the Super Bowl. Like, I get that. But that's our kids. That's our kids growing up in that. I'm sorry. They don't need to experience what we experience, y'all. You know, you could call them the bandwagons, but they babies. Like, for real, they're growing. They got an era that they can enjoy, you know. So some of us is still here, but we done rating. But we just had to show y'all how much, like, we didn't even get to enjoy our success. Like, that was a good point. We didn't get to enjoy our success at all. Let it just sink in or anything like that. But anything y'all want to say before we move on to our last topic? This one's gonna be a fun one, y'all. This one's gonna be kind of hilarious. So this is a Super Bowl 54 do-over. So, yeah, this is a Super Bowl 54 do-over. President Donald Trump spoke about how after the Eagles celebration, he would like the Chiefs to visit the White House to commemorate Super Bowl 54 since COVID-19 pandemic shut everything down. So should the Chiefs accept the invitation, and how would you feel about it?
I'm not going to comment on this too long because I don't like to talk politics. But no, the Chiefs shouldn't accept the invitation. If you didn't offer it back then, don't accept it now. We didn't just win a Super Bowl; they won the Super Bowl.
Couldn't do it, bro.
Eagles go. Let the
couldn't do it,
Eagles
bro.
go. Don't care if you couldn't do it. I'm pretty sure he offered a lot of people because I'm pretty sure Clemson went and visited at that time and he bought them McDonald's or something of that nature. If I don't recall. So the man is a joke. If it's somebody in there seriously that feel this worthy of you feel like it's worthy of doing that, or I'm going to meet them and really honors your time, then go ahead. But I wouldn't do it. I vote the Chiefs. No, don't do it. And I'm just gonna leave it there. Eagles enjoy it. But as long as the Chiefs are my team, I don't want them doing it and then supporting it. So if you go and do something, I'm thinking you supporting it. So you gotta watch that. I say no. Thumbs down. Double thumbs down.
Okay, well, I'll say thumbs down, but not the enthusiastic double thumbs down as my partner just said there. Mine is less to do about political stuff and more about, I mean, like we said, that's the past. Super Bowl 54, that's a lifetime ago. We've grown since then. We've gone through a lot of stuff. I get maybe you want to have kind of like a reunion tour, you know, give Damian Williams something to do and celebrate it during, you know, April of this year. But sure, bring Frank Clark back just to go see Donald. But I just don't see I just don't see the necessity in it. I know it's just for attention. I know it's because, you know, the president wants to get close to Patrick Mahomes, but they're being very careful about that.
You know it.
And But they were willing to see the White House when Joe Biden's in it. So, that becomes politicized as well. And Harrison Butker gets politicized for talking about Joe Biden. So, we have to play both sides here, Lonnie. We can't play favorites here. So that's why we're both taking the stand that the Chiefs shouldn't do it, because it's too political a point. There's more problems in America right now, and there's more things to worry about than to give the Chiefs something to celebrate from 2020 when it's 5 years later and we've won 2 other Super Bowls and almost three-peated during that time span. I think we're going to be okay. And I think the players who won Super Bowl 54 can kind of live off the accolades of that accomplishment in and of itself. So not something the Chiefs need to be worrying about this offseason. Like I said, time to come back, be intense, be mad, be determined. Winning the Super Bowl this year is our goal. Anything that is a distraction, we will remove that and continue on with the goal and the mission at hand. Period.
I'm on some Kanye. No, I'm just playing. I'm not even about to even go there. No, on a serious note, like, I'm not even on no political when I say they shouldn't go as well either. The reason why they shouldn't go, though, because I think it just it takes away from the Eagles moment. They won this Super Bowl. And I know that you went on and praised Patrick Mahomes and his family or before the game and stuff like that on the interview and showed up and everything like that. And I know you was rooting for them, but at the same time, we're not trying to be a part of that political game that you playing as well, too. Keep my quarterback out of it. Like, yeah, his family probably did some stuff that they should say, put them out there, put their business out there and everything like that. But at the same time, I respect the offer. I would appreciate the offer because they was robbed of that. Now, we've been to the White House multiple times, but I would say this, Lonnie, as well too. For those who haven't been, I don't really care about who in the office at that point, but I am like a citizen of the United States. I was born and raised here, and being able to go see where the highest power, the highest person in the country is at, where they're located at, where all the business is done and handled. Like, I want to be able to experience and see the White House. Like, we done seen a lot of our hip hop figureheads who honestly don't even care about even, Trump or any other political people that's in there. It's like, bro, experiencing and seeing the White House is still something great to do. So I think, like, when it comes to that, I understand everybody's feelings about what's going on, but we all got to remember that going to the White House is just a privilege to be able to do that. That's it. But when I'm saying they shouldn't go, don't take away from them. They won. We've been already back twice. We've been twice since then. When we won in 2022 and then also won in 2023. So either way it goes, they had their time, they had their moments. They were able to experience it. And to be honest, I feel like, as well too, when you go into it, the guys who are on the team right now, they don't deserve to go because they didn't win yet. Like the rookies who came, y'all didn't win yet. Y'all should experience that when y'all win, when you have earned it, regardless of who's in the office at that time or not. So at the end of the day, bro, like, I know everybody got their own political views, and even the ones who are on the chat right now, listen, bro. Like, at the end of the day, y'all gonna love what y'all want to love. Y'all gonna vote for what y'all want to vote for. But when it comes to football, don't try to come in and politicize and take away from the game of what we all come and enjoy, regardless of black, white, Hispanic, any other culture. We come into these settings, into these moments, and just enjoy the time. We get drunk, we eat good food, we talk our stuff, and we yell as loud as we can at the games, and that's it. So, don't take away from that, bro. And I want people to know, like, going there and enjoying that as well too. Like, don't take away your experience from the White House if you're able to go.
But I will say, I had never really seen anybody turn him down until
he was doing too much, though. Yeah.
So that's where I just kind of red flagged it for me, just period as a whole. Until he got in the office, I never seen teams turn it down. I mean, I had seen it was a thing to accept the office from the president. So I just kind of felt like it was just a little different. So just something I ain't never seen before. Like you said, it's a once in a lifetime experience. So you take the chance when you get the chance.
But for real, they shouldn't even did. But for real, like everybody always want to talk about this Coon and Uncle Tom stuff. I ain't scared to say it on the street. I don't scared to say that out loud, like, cause my views, we didn't talk all the time. Y'all wouldn't even know what my real views is, cause I don't care about none of them for real. Like nobody cared, bro. But when it comes to this is history, like you have all type of presidents that you may have loved or been a part of. See their portrait in the White House. Go to the Oval Office. Go to see the press conference room. Like, bro, like y'all don't remember Corey in the house? It looked lit. Like I wish I was staying in the White House, bro. I don't care who the president. Like, for real. Think about the ones like FBI. Like nobody care. Hey, bro. Like, I mean, I might not know, but hey, this is my career, bro. This is my job. I'm here. Like,
Dale,
forget. I'm just being real.
If you're gonna go there, you brought up a comment. I've been biting my tongue, but we might as well. You're saying you don't want politics and sports to mix together. I mean, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. Hey, bro. I mean, if we gonna do like, hey, we talk about it's a free world. We got our the need. Yeah, they gonna do what they want to do. Like,
I mean, if we're gonna be fair, I mean, you could say technically, yeah, but because it starts. I mean, if you can go just a ton of different places, because then you got a political campaign. Now you got the NFL making money off of a campaign, because now you put the racism on the back of him, and you start. So like you can.
Didn't we just recently take the words out of the end zone? Isn't racism ended? Haven't we stopped hating already?
I think they taking me out this season or something like that for sure.
But I'm just saying, you could just start a rabbit hole. It starts. It's a whole bunch of stuff. You could attribute it to. Like you said, we really probably should just keep it all out of there, from all aspects. But when you have people like the presidents involved in, like, they're a part of your ceremonies and going and being a part of like everything that has to do with your sport, then it's hard.
Because as you want sports to just be sports, but we're human beings, which means we're complex and we like a bunch of other things. We think different things about different subjects. So even if we're not political, we still all have some random political biases that we follow. So that's just stuff that you can't be avoided. And you try to, completely wall that off from other avenues of entertainment, work, school, whatever the case you may be going through in life. But like, it's impossible to avoid, because it's just human nature for us, for our opinions to naturally fly out of us, especially if they are important or impactful or important to you, or makes you happy or whatever. So like, you just can't avoid that. I know we try to, and obviously we danced around this subject the best we could. Like, you still had to point at it. It was still like, hey, this is politics. And I know that's like, you have to cringe when you have. But like, if you don't have some of these conversations and be able to listen to those inverse opinions, then you're never going to grow, either as an individual or as a society. You have to be able to listen to the opinion that you don't like, and still find something redeemable about the person who said the thing you don't like. And, it's going to be tough. It's a hard lesson to stomach, but I think we'd all be better off for it if we could take that time to be able to do that. Easier said than done, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, you see how we're really dancing around it a lot for a reason, because let me tell you, to our Red Kingdom Mediaites, all right, I'll try to give y'all a name. We'll think about that later. We'll think about that later to the chat, But this ain't to run y'all, but this is to have good conversation, like, because in general, I think at the end of the day, this was just a bad time to offer. Like, come on, bro. Don't take that away from the Philadelphia Eagles. And people gonna start putting two together, because Taylor Swift from there, and she's not a big fan of you. or doesn't support you. Like this how you can't separate. Like I get at that point now. That's why you do have guys being like, no, I don't want you to go at all. For real. Because it's gonna be hard to separate the politics. We know the person in office who's they gonna push the politics on you. That's it. So anything else y'all want to add on to this before we go ahead and close it out?
No
Nope.
comment.
I'm
y'all
good.
ain't gotta talk about this, bro. Like this is about the whole show now. Like y'all ain't handicapped to just hear anything y'all would have had in general. Cause y'all did show no. I'm gonna freak. No.
Not on the last topic, but just as far as the team overall, excited for most recent signings. Excited to just see what the Chiefs have in order for the draft. I mean, I think that's the next big event coming up for us. See what pieces they add, and see if we can get any guys that really come and catch our eye. Because the Chiefs like to find those guys that we don't know about, those hidden gems, the unwritten stories, the guys the Isaiah Pacheco's, the George Karlaftis, the Trent McDuffies. So let's see if we can get any of those stories leading up to the draft and see who the Chiefs are looking at.
For sure. I mean, you say what you will. I love your conversation. It's always great to get on here and talk with you guys. And despite anything that we talk about, you always know it's all love. And we brotherly argue with stuff, but it's always love at the end of the day. And I know that our people in our chat know that too. I know they feed off it and appreciate it. So
yeah, for sure. It's definitely always all love. And say, Lonnie, yeah, I hope it's gonna be fun. And y'all know we're gonna be here round day one of that draft. We're gonna be live and we're gonna be doing this together, going through every pick, having a good time. We're gonna see if our boy Georgia Schultz, of course, can hit us with the with the early picks, so we just be spoiling for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he can do it like that, have a good time. Maybe we see him and Ian. That's gonna crack.
I don't think he's gonna do that because him and Ian gonna end up getting down.
We're gonna have to see that.
So maybe him and Jordan. Maybe Jordan don't do that this year because he don't want to get marked out by Ian. But that's to be.
I think Jordan is more huge, bro, than is huge. Like Ian got to be short, but he looks small, bro. Him and Adam are small, bro.
Ian got more motion,
but that don't mean he got hands. Let's start talking about this boxing match, celebrity boxing match, because now we're gonna go into it. We always like to close it out like this with a random statement or a topic, just anything that happened at that time. But we definitely do appreciate everyone for, of course, coming in and talking with us for this hour during this show. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on all our social media platforms. We have all our updates, of course, going on those platforms, and then we have more videos coming up as well too. We should be live this Friday as well too, tapping in with y'all. Hopefully some more news come about, but you know what, you're gonna hear from us. But that's all we have for this edition of Gridiron Gambit. Thank you, everyone, for, of course, coming in, joining in, and having a good time with us. And, fellas, as always, go Chiefs!
Welcome. Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs. Red Kingdom Media.